Okay, so just a quick vid here of my rotation, and the reason for it is because just finished a heroic raid and failed miserably on sludge, and it was quite funny. We had another lock in the group, and literally one pull before he mentioned it, I was thinking about changing the talent setup to increase more talents, more dots, so you can rapture and gain more damage that way, which was going to be like this. So Drain Soul, obviously, Siphon Life, Dark Pack for an extra defensive, Phantom for an extra dot, and then Haunt, and then obviously Dark Soul for some extra haste when you pop in your trinkets, and for hero and stuff. Whereas before I was running Absolute Corruption. So having Siphon Life on Sludge Fist, yeah, it did absolutely help me with my DPS. Took me from 3.8 on average up to 5k a second. But the funny thing is, the other Warlock actually changes to Destruction for when he's doing Mythic Pluses in the dungeons, which I don't. I have found Destruction just too slow, even with like your Chaos Rain, Cataclysm, your Legendary to proc your Infernal more is cooldown lessons, Wilfred's Sigil of Summoning. But I find Affliction a lot better, but it's harder because if you've ever done it yourself, even in high keys, because the trash is dying so fast, you don't have an awful lot of time to get your dots out and then capitalise on it from Rapture, but against boss fights you do. You obviously, 9 times out of 10, have a higher DPS on boss fights as an Affliction lock than I've seen on trash packs. So here we go. I'm just going to give you my rough rotation for when you're dealing with trash. Obviously it depends on your Covenant. I'm Fae, so I've got Soul Rot, and then your trinkets and stuff like that also help. So here we go, just a standard thing, just a food buff and an imp pet on. So on a trash pack of like 3 to 4, I would seed the main target, instantly applying Affliction to both other targets. Then I would be putting Haunt, Unstable Affliction, Soul Rot, Phantom, and then you can either Drain Soul to get those stacks up, and then Rapture or Rapture and go from there. So as you can see, instant burst, 5k, 0.3, no flask, and then all you're doing is keeping your dots up on as many targets as you can. And then you wait for everything to come off cooldown, keeping everything dotted, and you can even try and keep up 2 targets with Shadow's Embrace, just to help with that damage, because it just increases all damage done. Keeping Haunt on cooldown so it doesn't come off. You've got all your things, then pop everything. And then you can see how much more you can burst up to. As long as you can keep your dots up on targets, even spread them around if you really wanted to, and just keep your Rapture going. So that's my standard setup. I'm going to have to cut the stream here. Okay, so this is the other way you can think about playing it. Vile Taint, if you really want to. I don't see a point in Vile Taint. It's a shard spender, and other than just general AoE damage, you probably, by the time you've got through all of the trash applying your dots, this is going to drop before you use your Rapture. So then the other way to go with it, especially if you know there's going to be lots of trash, okay? And depending on the week for the affixes, you may end up pulling 2-3 groups of trash together at the same time. In which case, I wouldn't even bother with Rapture personally. I would use Sow the Seeds, because it applies to 3 targets. Then you got the splash damage. It instantly gives you corruption on whatever it hits. So this would be an option here, and I'll do the rotation for it now. And it's not much different. Prioritize your main target, and then it'll be a case of as soon as they're pulled, or as you know he's about to pull, Sow the Seeds, Haunt, Affliction, Agony on all targets, get some dots rolling out, and then if you know there's just more and more trash, just keep going. Sow the seeds. The damage it'll put out on multiple enemies for you. It doesn't look like much here because there's only 3 targets. Obviously with more trash it hits more targets and it keeps your dots going. So then it's just a case of apply, and then as targets start to die, then use your Rapture. Nuke them down, drain soul on anything underneath 20%. Because it's shard sniping. It's building your resources back up for you. So that's the way I work with that one. Okay, so what I'll use on a single target fight in my general setup is I will be on Phantom Singularity, because it gives you that extra dot and it increases your Rapture value. So here we go, I'll give you my general rotation here, and I'll go through it for 2 minutes just to keep it going so you can have a proper look. This is me obviously approaching a boss, only 3 shards, imp on, all my trinkets and my glare, dark glare, ready to use. Okay, so here we go. So once again, it will be a case of Haunt, Agony, Corruption, Unstable Affliction, get your Shadow's Embrace up, apply Agony one more time, hit your Phantom, send out your Soul Rot, then your Dark Glare, then your Trinkets, and then Burst. Keeping your dots up, trying to keep Haunt on it because of obviously the value it adds, and then you just keep that rotation going as much as you can. Keep your dots up, and then you can wait for things to come back off cooldown to keep that damage up there. I mean, obviously only a food buff, no flask, no oil. Get Haunt back on. I keep letting it drop by accident there, you'll have to excuse me. But keep that rotation going until you've got your Phantom Singularity back, because by then you should have 3 to 4 soul shards. Here we go, see, 4 and it's back. So what I'll do is I'll wait for Haunt, Agony, Phantom Singularity, Trinket, and then Rapture. Then go back in, top everything back up. That is my way around a single boss fight as Affliction in the talent setup that I've got. I mean, my item level is only 205 with what I've got. I'm obviously running the trinket for, not the trinket, the legendary of Demonic Synergy, because it's the best one to have. It just is. The uptime on it is real, and it's worth it. So here we go, everything's off cooldown again. Phantom, Soul Rot, burst your Rapture. Just let it go. And then keep your dots going. And that's all I'll do. Obviously you've got movement around where you need to move, dodge mechanics, but as you know, keeping your dots up while on the move isn't really that big of a deal. And then if everything's still on cooldown or you're getting towards the end of the fight, just empty your shards in Rapture if you've got the dots up. You don't have to wait for everything to come off cooldown if you're getting towards the end of the fight. And then it's the same on trash packs. It's a case of if you've got Agony, Affliction, Agony and Corruption, and you've got your Haunt and your Unstable Affliction, even on a trash pack, burst your Rapture if you're not using Sow the Seeds talent, because that's where your damage is going to come from, and then you're not going to have people in dungeons moaning about your DPS. And it will make you feel better because your DPS will be higher. So there we are, guys. That's my content for my rotation. Hope you enjoy it. I'm sure there'll be people that say I'm doing something wrong. If that's the case, please leave it in the comment section. Tell me where I'm going wrong, and I'll take a look. I'll take your advice on, and I'll test it out. Okay, thanks very much. See you in the next video. Obviously, I stream every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 8 PM UK time. Normally raid pugs or the guild raids, but we are hoping to start smashing more high mythic keys. So come pop in. Hope to see you then.